For both of you, with the ebbs and flows of this game, how important was it just to be able to close it out and to win another close game like this one tonight? To either.
Um,
Yeah.
you- oh.
Okay. I think it's very important because we've been talking as a team. Like our coaches have talked with us that a lot of the games are going to be close, and we're going to have to be able to close the game, even though it's really close. Because last year we struggled with that, and I feel like we're kind of proving this year that we're not going to have a repeat of last year.
Sometimes as a team, you maybe learn more maybe when you do have a setback or a loss than a win. What was maybe that big takeaway that was the emphasis in practice that was maybe utilized more tonight?
I think it's just like kind of to keep fighting. Like we, as PJ said, like the A10 this year is super even. Like any game, like anybody can beat anybody this year. So just knowing that every single game is going to be a dogfight and just knowing that we always have to fight was a huge deal for us. And then also, obviously, with Yanni being out, other people had to step up. And then PJ got in foul trouble, so I know that like Riley Sunday came in and did good things for us. Lauren, so we had a lot of contributions all around.
We've talked so many times in the past, and about your flexibility at all 5 positions. Just when you know that PJ is going to be out for an extended period of time, just how important do you view it to just be that anchor and be that rock in the post?
Yeah, I definitely have tried to just expand my game. I feel like last year I was too focused on like shooting and being a guard, and I'm like, well, if I can get those inside buckets early, like just to get my confidence up, that really has helped me out. So just being able to stretch the floor or go inside has been very beneficial.
When they were able to get those rebounds in that time, just how much was it okay, I see what they're doing now, I have to find a counter?
Yeah, it was just kind of, like you said, just a matter of finding a counter and just realizing kind of what was going on and building off of that.
PJ, when you came back in, we've talked in the past about how you've been able to just play straight up and be able to find success. Just how focused were you on just staying straight up and just remaining poised within your principles when you came back in?
Mostly just being confident. I knew that we were one man down and that my contribution was important for our success and that I had to take on that role. But also leaning on my teammates, being comfortable enough knowing that that they're going to be there and support me too.
To either of you, the fourth quarter was a bit of a roller coaster, lots of ups and downs. How did you guys stay within yourselves through those ups and downs to just be able to pull through at the end?
I think we've just been in that situation so many times, and like kind of like I said before, we knew that last year we struggled during those games, and we knew we didn't want to be in that situation anymore, and knowing that we can still win those close games.
Seems that through those peaks and valleys, there's been that determination. Just how has that process been, just stepping onto a court now, expecting a result, maybe not necessarily hoping for a result?
Yeah, I feel like our team just kind of, we emphasize having confidence and like playing with an edge this year. Last year it was kind of like we were just finding ourselves, but this year I feel like with a lot of us being veterans, we kind of like know who we are, know what to expect, and we're going out there ready to fight for every game.
With you guys going back on the road, how much does, maybe a clearer picture, does this provide just an understanding of what went well and what constructively can be worked on between now and Sunday?
No, I feel like just as you could tell, like in the fourth quarter, I think that we were just fatigued, and that's why we were like giving up some buckets. So just kind of getting our legs back, and then making sure that we are able to stay focused in the fourth quarter from now on. We finished out that game, but it did get a little scary there for a second. But then also we were just been working on attacking on offense as well and getting more people, more touches, and more shots. So that's also really beneficial, and it gets more people to buy in, so it's fun.
All right, that's all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Tonight, you score 70 points and you win 3 of the quarters, but you don't feel great about how the game finished. But you have to take it a little bit with a grain of salt because we really believe as a staff the Atlantic 10 Conference overall is going to be like this all year, not just with our games, but with games across the board. The talent level is very balanced, and there's some pretty good coaching in the league, and we feel like there's going to be a lot of tight games from now until the end of the season. And how you manage games late really matter. And so that's probably the biggest reasons why I'm a little bit disappointed tonight. I thought I could have managed things a little bit better. We did not have our legs by any stretch. We really only played about 6.5 people tonight. Missing Yanni Townsend really affected us. And then we've got some bumps and bruises. And it's one of those games where we're happy to come away with the W, but we're going to gain a lot of intel about ourselves going forward about what we need to work on.
Dan, regardless of maybe some of the disappointment with the end of the game, it is another close game, and you've been involved with a lot of them, and you've had a lot more up and down. Just how do you take that maybe positive and at least see that it's a close league game and you're able to at least find a result?
I can't remember if it was last year or the year before. I think it was last. Yeah, it was last year. We lost 13 times with 2 possessions or less in the last minutes of games, and that's not happening this year. And that's to the maturity of our players. Meg and Tess and Yanni. I'm sorry, Meg and Tess, Yanni, but Precious and Amaya, because those were the ones that were here. Precious and Amaya and Meg and Tess. And we're finding ways to win. In the Rhode Island game, we were obviously disappointed taking the lead with 3 minutes to go. We found out that when you get pushed to the ground, it's not a foul when you're on the road in conference play. And so we have to understand how tough and how physical and how we have to fight. And I thought we did a lot of that tonight. I think we could manage our shot selection a little bit better late in game, especially when the other team has 5 fouls and we're going to go to the free throw line every time. But again, happy with the W.
Dan, I asked the girls this as well. With the evolution, the growth of this team, of this group, how maybe is the progression of just stepping on the court and hunting a result as opposed to stepping on the court maybe being hopeful for a result?
That's a great question. I don't feel like we're hopeful when we step on the court, but I also don't feel like we're the hunter yet. And that was really what I talked about in practice yesterday and today. You're either going to get hit or you're going to be the hitter. And, we're not quite there yet, but I thought Amaya Hamilton made a big jump tonight. Her physicality on every post-up. She was worn down at the end of the game, didn't have very many legs left. That's where, Yanni giving us relief and giving us quality minutes, it's going to make Amaya even better. But we're not hopeful anymore. We have a little bit of confidence to us, but yet we're still not a hunter yet. And to get to that hunting stage, we've got to take another little jump.
Speaking of the jump that Amaya took with PJ on the bench for that extended period of time and no Yanni, obviously Amaya had to be that anchor for you, and Riley also stepped in and had a big minutes for you as well, her most since November. Just how did you appreciate what Amaya was able to do during that stretch and also the contribution that Riley made tonight?
They really struggled to guard Amaya off the dribble. Amaya has become a much better basketball player when she's driven the ball and keeps driving it, and when she gets cut off at the rim to continue her dribble. And as long as our other guards along the arc continue to move to find the correct passing angles, Amaya's going to have a lot of success because she can find them. She's a very good IQ and passes the ball well, and it's going to give us. She's a facilitator. She can get us a lot of good looks, whether that's point blank at the rim for herself or for the other guards that are on the arc. In regards to Riley Sunday, she played 14 minutes for us, and she had 4 points and 3 rebounds. I thought she was really good. A couple little nervous freshman-like plays. His very first possession when she went in, she dribbled it out of bounds. But we stayed with her, and I thought she battled. I thought she rebounded well. I thought she had a couple times where she could have driven it herself. She's very good at changing direction in tight spaces, and when you have an aggressive team defending you, and you can do that, sometimes you can find drives. And I thought tonight she would have had a couple more drives to the rim, but I thought she played really well tonight, and I'm really happy with where Riley is now.
Dan, an maybe be that person for you?
Well, I hope that it could be Riley, or I hope it could be Lauren. I hope it could be Anaya or Singo. But that's going to be left up to them when they walk onto the floor. And, you can rebound and you can battle and you can dive on the floor, but you can't be 1 for 6. You got to make a couple shots. And, that's Lauren. And I'm not picking on Lauren because I love Lauren to death. There's no one, it's really important to her. Basketball is really important to her, and Duquesne basketball is really important to her. And, we just got to see her get the ball in the hoop a couple times to gain some confidence. For the others, so that we can extend our bench, they know what they need to do. And if they don't, they know where my office is, and it'll be clear as day to them. But we've got to have a couple more be able to help us and give us a little bit of relief.
When Dayton's maybe catching fire in some stages in the second half, are those timeouts more to stop that or just to redirect the players to maybe go back to the principles they were?
Well, we played zone, which is not something that we normally do. We're a team that has played very little zone, maybe 10%. Really only one other game where we played it. So, we wanted to throw a little surprise at them. We also pressed from the opening tip, which I thought was really effective. But also pressing from that opening tip, we knew what was going to happen as we got into the fourth. Those timeouts are strategic, but they're also relief timeouts to get the kids just to go sit down and take a couple deep breaths. And so it's a little bit of both. We'd have to pick out each in particular timeout. But there was one time where I was, hey, no one's going to talk to you. You guys just take 30 seconds and just get your breath, get a drink, and calm yourselves down and calm your heart rate down.
What did you like about the demeanor Precious had, especially when she came back in the game? We've talked a lot about how she's been able to play straight up when she's been in foul trouble and been able to extend her minutes when she's been able to come back.
She had 3 blocks listed tonight, and I think she had more than that. And on her third foul, that was one that was, that was clean. That was Ivory Soap clean. And I thought she was outstanding tonight of keeping her hands high. And she's done that all season long. Precious was in foul trouble a lot of times last year. This year she has been an incredible defender with keeping her arms high and being really disciplined. And that's not easy to do, especially when you have people hitting you in the stomach and you're still able to keep your hands high and not arched forward. And I thought she was outstanding tonight. Again, 16 points, 9 rebounds. She had a couple passes, pocket passes, that our guards fumbled where she could have had a couple more assists. I thought she had more than 3 blocks, and she did it on 7 of 9 shooting, and she hit a 3. That's a good night in 24 minutes. Imagine if we could have got her in there for 32 or 34. I'd love to play her for 38, or 40 minutes, but tonight we were not able to do that because of the fouls. Hey, I really appreciate you supporting women's basketball. Hope to see you here next time.